I'm dealing with the socially retarded and deranged who put an enormous bounty on my head and tortured me. I've been in emergency rooms for heart emergencies from the torture, and I have Parkinson's. I'm deaf. I have glaucoma. I'm old. I'm alone. I've been isolated. When I say that it's deaf and mentally retarded, it's because it comes from the media. It's criminally insane, deranged, criminally insane, and mentally retarded. How could it come to pass that a Pittsburgh public school student would be put into such a circumstance and the entire administration of government, the police department, the checks and balances of peer review, all stood for it? How can that be? They blacked out that it happened. How could that be? Are they all evil, stupid, and greedy? Are they all being broad? That's one explanation. How is it possible for a rock star to declare that virginity proves rape when the girl herself admits that no such thing could possibly be true? How is it possible that he becomes actionable, attacking people were bystanders? How is that possible? How is it possible that an entire corrections institution from Attica State Prison, locating a satellite branch in Pittsburgh, can put together a Venus flytrap beginning in 1969 when Wattenmaker showed me the Venus flytrap in his backyard, encompassing the great state of Pennsylvania and Maine, all the way out to Montana. A Society for Human Ecology who worked for 20 years pot boiling a macabre production of sexual entrapment with a lethal direction to illustrate what Peter Gabriel called a theme park. I mean, now we're over 1,000 miles away in England. And say it was all just response because Jimmy was crying like a baby over a girl's virginity and get away with it. Mona Sharon's gang puts crimer misdemeanors in a marquee in Montana long before I mocked her back. But that's the way they go. They do like this, they do like this, they do like this. And when you do like this back, finally, they start slaughtering you in the head. That's the whole mentality of this operation. How is it possible that they could possibly put together such a huge network of, I mean, they say, well, we saw the dark side of Jimmy Carrera. Well, they implanted a neuroplasm, and that's inadmissible. A blind person could put their hand to my cheek and feel the throbbing. It's 50 years ago, and it still throbs like a punch. When I pull on it, you can see it, but you put your hand on it, it throbs like a punch. And and they say that's my split personality. It's an implant. It caused me to scream and cry in pain. This wasn't just rejection syndrome, the rejection complex. This was deafness and mutilation and seizure phenomenon. I didn't hurt anybody. They said, oh, did he touch you lightly as a gesture? That's plus one. And they come running with daggers, ripper murdering bystanders and saying it's because you neglected the black man. And most of these people are white. Japanese thrillers, thrill creators, working with Ichiro Suzuki, put a macabre image of me being Aaron Bushnell in a New York Yankees magazine. And they've been doing it for years and years and years. How's it possible? That nobody put together this macabre Satanism from Yoko Ono was planned in advance. It wasn't a response. It began I lived next door to the Wattenmakers in 1969 when they played King Crimson for me. How is it possible that you have an intercept from a time predating even the existence of the letters? Oh, we intercepted her brainwaves and forged letters in her name and sent them to you from Israel, and you stole them by opening them and reading them, dear Jimmy Crary letters. That was Ringo Starr's take on the whole thing. I stole them by reading them after they sent them to me, and he got away with it. They have signifiers of the plan tracing back to Fayum in 1917. And they got away with it. They get away with saying the virginity proves rape because Tony Levin says the queer bait could have saved John Lennon. So he's going to advocate for the people who he claims killed John Lennon. And that's supposed to make sense to everybody because they're slapping five at the blackmail at the black market barber shop where they're saying let's snuff film Jimmy Queerball. And the police do it, the governors do it, the fascists do it, the Russians do it, the rock stars do it. They all fucking get away with it. All of them have done this and gotten away with it. But what really kills me is that their fucking explanation is accepted. They sit there and think, oh, John Lennon, oh, he was crying about a girl. Oh, John Lennon, he was crying about a girl. Jimmy was crying about a girl. Oh, John Lennon, oh. And that makes more sense to them than working out what really went on. It's insane. It's a development, and I fear greatly it's Donald Trump.